Hello students. Today we are going to start with the water resources of our country. When you talk of the water resources can be either it can be salt water or saline water. It can be groundwater that is found below the surface of the earth, or it can be surface water in the form of river, lakes, ponds, tanks that are there. Now, on the surface of the earth, at least we say that almost 70% of the earth's surface is covered with water. But 97% of the water that is available on the surface of the earth is of no use to the human beings. हम लोग का कोई काम का नहीं है, because most of it is actually saline and found in the oceans and seas that are found. Only remaining 3% is actually what we call the fresh water, and which is of use to the human beings. Now, if we take this 3% only, almost 70% of this portion is actually in the form of what we call ice, which is found in the glaciers high up in the mountains, and again they are of no use. Just 30% is actually stored as the groundwater and in the form of water which we find in the rivers, tanks, lakes, etc. Now, if we come to case of India, in case of India, almost India has 4% of the world's water resources, but the water that is found in our country, the water resources that are found in our country, they are not uniformly distributed. हर जगह बराबर distributed नहीं है. There are 4 major sources of surface water in our country, of course, that is rivers, lakes, ponds and tanks. But we find that in our country, use of groundwater is also highly prevalent, because in many places of our country, water is not available so readily. That's why groundwater forms an important source of water supply, particularly for irrigational purposes. Now, coming to the surface water, particularly rivers, India actually is a country which is endowed with large number of rivers. Now, these rivers broadly can be divided into 2 categories. One is the rivers of North India and the rivers of South India. Rivers of North India, that is found in the northern part of the country, they are also sometimes called the Himalayan rivers, because most of them have their origin in the Himalayas. Similarly, the rivers which are found in the southern part of the country, they are referred to as the peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers because they are found in this peninsular region of our country. Now, in our country, if we take into the Himalayan rivers, they are mainly 3. One is of course Ganga, then there is Indus, and of course Brahmaputra. These are the major 3 North Indian rivers or Himalayan rivers. In case of the peninsular rivers, they are comparatively much more. We find there are rivers like Mahanadi is there, Godavari is there, Krishna, Kaveri, and which flow towards the western side. There is of course Narmada, Tapi, Mahi is there, Sabarmati is there. These are some of the rivers which are found in the southern part of the country. Now let's start with some of the rivers or major rivers that are there in our country. First, of course, we will start with the most important river of our country, that is river Ganga. Now, river Ganga is actually referred to as the most important river of our country. This river Ganga has got a length of roughly about 2525 kilometer, especially in our country only. Now river Ganga actually originates from a point, 1 minute, it goes like this. River Ganga actually originates from a point, or its source is supposed to be Bhagirathi. This river Bhagirathi actually originates from icy cave of Gomukh in Gangotri glacier. That is supposed to be the origin point of river Ganga. Now river Ganga actually originates from this Gomukh, and another river by the name of Alaknanda, which originates from the Alkapuri glacier. These two rivers actually meet together at a point called Devaprayag, and from there the river takes the name of Ganga. Unification of Bhagirathi with Alaknanda forms the river Ganga. Now, before Alaknanda meets with the Bhagirathi river, it also meets with some other rivers or other head stream. Prominent one is Mandakini, which is actually meeting the Alaknanda at a place called Rudraprayag. In fact, these three are the main head streams of the river Ganga, though there are some others also, like Dholi Ganga is there, that also meets with the Alaknanda, and thereafter it produces. But these three are the main head stream. Now this river Ganga flows through the Sivalik range and comes to the place, or what we call the plains, at a place called Haridwar. So from its source to Haridwar, that is actually the upper course of river Ganga. Now the middle course of the river Ganga is from Haridwar to Rajmahal hills, and the lower course is from the Rajmahal hills till its mouth in Bay of Bengal. Now in the middle course, the river Ganga, it meets with large number of its tributaries. Especially it meets rivers like Sarda is there, Gomti is there, then there is Ghagra, then there is of course river Kosi. Then all these are basically left bank tributaries of the river Ganga. Along the right bank, there are only two major tributaries. One is river Yamuna, which actually meets river Ganga, all of you should know, meets river Ganga at Allahabad. That is the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna takes place at Allahabad. And another right bank tributary is river Son. These are the only two right bank tributaries of the river Ganga. All the others are actually left bank tributaries. Now this river Ganga, flowing in a southeasterly direction just after crossing the Rajmahal hills, it actually turns towards south and divides itself into two branches. One branch flows towards the east and enters Bangladesh, where it is known as Padma. And the second branch turns towards south and flows through the West Bengal. Initially this river is known as the Bhagirathi only. Once it enters the Hooghly district, it takes the name of Hooghly river. So the combined course we call it as Bhagirathi Hooghly river. Now this Bhagirathi Hooghly river flowing through the West Bengal, it ultimately ends into the Bay of Bengal. Now, here the Padma, it also entering into Bangladesh. It joins with Jamuna, that is river Brahmaputra in Bangladesh, and together it forms the largest delta of the world, that is Sundarban Delta is formed in this region. That is Ganga, Brahmaputra together forms this Sundarban Delta, though there is another river also, that is Meghna River, that also plays a part in the formation of this delta region. Major part of this delta is of course in Bangladesh, but minor part of this delta or Sundarban Delta is in the state of West Bengal also. Well, about the river Ganga, as I have told you, it is the most important river of our country. The area from where the river actually flows, it actually flows almost through the northern part of India, forming the Great Northern Plains. Its soil it has resulted in this region becoming highly fertile by deposition of soil that has taken place from the river. Not only the river but also its tributaries has formed fertile soil in this region and highly suitable for agriculture. Now coming to the second river, that is of course river Indus. River Indus originates from a point which is located very near to the Lake Mansarovar, just 100 km north. It flows like this, it goes and enters into India, thereafter flowing like this, it enters into Pakistan, and flowing like this, it ultimately ends into the Arabian Sea. Now coming back to the river Indus. River Indus actually originates from a spring called Senge Khabab, ACNGGE, spelling ACNGGE, Senge Khabab, which is actually located in the Kailash range, and that is Lake Mansarovar, just about 100 km north of the Lake Mansarovar. Now this river flowing initially in a northwest direction, it enters India through a deep gorge and it flows in between. On the one side there is of course Ladakh range and another side there is of course the Jaskar range. Flowing through in between these two ranges, it actually moves in a northwesterly direction, thereafter again taking a sudden turn, particularly very near to the Nanga Parbat. It again through a gorge enters into Pakistan, and flowing through Pakistan it ultimately ends into the Arabian Sea. Now river Indus is not very important for us, but its tributaries are more important. Its right bank tributaries are of course in Kashmir region, where it is some right bank tributaries are there like Sayok, Dras, Sigar, Gilgit. These are some right bank tributaries of the river, but it is famous for its famous 5 left bank tributaries like Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Jhelum and Chenab. These are the famous 5 tributaries which flow over the area of India. Of course, they also enter into Pakistan later on. These 5 tributaries actually form this fertile area, particularly between this Punjab area and parts of Haryana. In fact, the name Punjab is because of these 5 tributaries only. Now, among these tributaries, Satluj is the longest and largest tributary of river Indus. Now coming to the third river, that is river Brahmaputra. Now river Brahmaputra, it actually originates from a glacier by the name of Che-Maung-Dong Glacier, which is also located in the Kailash range and very near to the Lake Mansarovar, very near to the point where the Indus has originated. It also originates almost from the same portion. Now, near its source, the place where it originates, the river is actually known as Tamchak Khabab. This river flows from its origin towards east, almost parallel to the Himalayas, roughly for about 1200 kilometers, through Tibet, where it is known as Tasangpo. And just crossing the Namcha Barua peak, it cuts a deep gorge through the Namcha Barua peak and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh, where it is known as Dihing. Tamchak Khabab near its source, then its name is Tasangpo when it is flowing through Tibet. Once it enters India, it is known as Dihang. It is known as Dihang. Then flowing in this direction towards southwest, near the border of Assam, it actually meets two of its tributaries. One is Lohit and another one is Dibang. Dibang actually comes from the north and Lohit comes from the east. Once it unites with these tributaries, it takes the name of Brahmaputra. The unification of Dihang with Lohit and Dibang forms the river Brahmaputra. Flowing through the Assam, it actually flows in this direction, just crossing the Garo hills, it turns towards the south and enters into Bangladesh, where it is known as Jamuna. In Bangladesh, it is known as Jamuna, and this river Jamuna, the Padma actually meets with this Jamuna, and both of them together ultimately ends into the Bay of Bengal, forming, like I said in case of river Ganga, forming the largest delta of the world, along with another river Meghna, which is also a tributary of river Brahmaputra only. Now, the river Brahmaputra actually meets with large number of tributaries, especially while it is flowing through the area of Assam. It has almost 25 major tributaries, and all these tributaries bring plenty of water in this river Brahmaputra. As a result of which, particularly during the rainy season, the river Brahmaputra resembles almost a slow moving lake. Its width is almost 8 kilometers. Now, as a result of the water being brought by its tributaries, the river Brahmaputra is heavily silted. As a result of which, the river Brahmaputra is actually notorious for occurrence of floods. बाढ़ हर साल इस रिवर में हमेशा ही आते. Now, some of its major tributaries. First, we will start with right bank tributaries, that is Dibang, Subansiri, Kameng, then there is Manas, Bhareli, Barnodi, Pagladia, Sankos, Tista, all of them are right bank tributaries. Among its left bank tributaries, there is Dhansiri, Lohit, then there is Buri Dihang, then there is Digaru, Disang, Kulsi, etc. These are some of its left bank tributaries. One more thing about the river Brahmaputra. Near this point, roughly near Jorhat in Assam. It has formed the world's largest riverine island as a result of the deposition. An island in the river actually has been, in the course of the river has been formed. It is the largest riverine island of the world and it is known as Majuli. Majuli is the largest riverine island of the world. Well, that was all about the North Indian rivers, major North Indian rivers of our country. In my next video, I will be discussing about the South Indian rivers, all the major South Indian rivers.